Recognizing the member for Richmond, Queensborough.
Absolutely, Madam Speaker. We do need to recognize this. You know, I've seen this story played before. You cannot conflate the criticism of a state with anti-Semitism. That's the first point. I've seen this story before. When I was a young man in the 80s, protesting the draconian actions of the Indian government, what was said to me? You're anti-Hindu. Had nothing to do with religion. But that's what it is. We're seeing very similar things here. I'm going to read something before, campuses absolutely need to be a safe space for everyone. Everybody agrees that. All students, faculty, and staff have the right to feel safe and be learning and working in an environment free of hate. And institutions must remain committed to ensuring that balance, where ideas can be peacefully and respectfully debated without compromising on student safety. However, governments should also be very vigilant in not interfering in places where free expression should have its greatest protections. I'm going to read, since we kind of went down this route of a situation that's happening right now, I'm going to read something from a statement put out by the Jewish Faculty Network. Jewish faculties, there are Jewish faculty from universities and colleges across Canada who share a strong commitment to social justice. And they talk about encampments and protests. As faculty, we support the student protests and their demands that the university disclose its investments, divest from companies complicit in Israeli apartheid, occupation, and genocide, and terminate partnerships with Israeli universities that operate in illegal settlements in occupied Palestinian territories, or sustain or support the state of Israel's apartheid policies and its ongoing genocide in Gaza. So again, Jewish Faculty Network. They go on to say, we recognize that these students, their demands and their protests further the mission of our university. The students' demands are supported by and grounded in national and international laws. The university is bound by legal and moral responsibility to abide by the provisional measures ordered by the International Court of Justice, as well as the Canadian government's parliamentary resolution. They go on to state, there's a lot here, I'm not going to read it all, because I only have so much time. Our students deserve to be able to protest without being smeared by accusations of anti-Semitism. Pro-Palestine perspectives and advocacy critical of Israeli state policies are met with false anti-Semitism, very similar to what I was met with in the 80s. Accusations by pro-Israeli lobby groups and their allies, which has created a chilly climate on campus. Politically motivated and baseless accusations of anti-Semitism directed at pro-Palestine voices are extremely dangerous, as they are aimed at shielding Israel from criticism. These false charges furthermore perpetuate anti-Palestinian racism, Islamophobia. The weaponization of anti-Semitism against students opposing genocide allows the Israeli state to cement its occupation and expand its colonial and apartheid forces in Palestine. From UBC here, the Independent Jewish Voices. We are a group of Jewish students, staff, and faculty at UBC, the encampment that my friend talks about. We are inspired by the level of trust, dedication, and anti-discrimination we see in the UBC encampment, the group said in a statement. As Jewish members of the UBC community, we support and are part of this peaceful encampment. We are here alongside our peers, our friends, our classmates, our students. We add our voices to those urging UBC to take a principled and ethical stance towards the genocide taking place on Gazans. And there's a lot more there. Again, governments need to be incredibly circumspect when it comes to policing speech. That, Madam Speaker, is a slippery path down which we do not want to go. Mr. Speaker. It's a path that directly leads to totalitarianism. But our government also has zero tolerance of hate of any kind, not only on campus, but everywhere else. We have shown that from the time that we got elected here. From the very start, we reinstated the Human Rights Commissioner, which the other side got rid of, since they have already gone partisan. An independent body that has the power to look at government action and inaction. That's also why we have launched an impressive amount of work in combating racism and discrimination, that work being debated right here. In the area of sexualized violence, today we heard about Red Dress Day, sexualized and gender-based violence, the province requires all post-secondary institutions have sexualized violence policies. When it comes to post-secondary universities, each institution has its own policies in place, and we as a government expect them to uphold those policies, as we expect the police to arrest people that commit hate speech or hate crimes, which clearly it works, it has happened. Our government has been extremely clear that hate of any kind will not be tolerated in British Columbia. We expect post-secondary institutions to support a diverse community that is safe, welcoming, and inclusive. But students have, and staff, have the right to free expression, Mr. Speaker, and we will continue to support that. Thank you.
Thank you, member.